name is Matt Gough. I'm here on behalf of the Sierra Club, and I'm excited to share this conversation about building electrification with you all. Electrifying buildings is critical to meet our climate goals. Cities and municipalities are leading the way in this transition by restricting natural gas in new buildings and retrofits. In California alone, 44 cities have already adopted building electrification policies, and other states are considering and adopting similar building electrification policies. I'm pleased to welcome two local leaders who are on the front lines of policies incentivizing the new generation of buildings. Mayor Libby Schaaf of Oakland, California, and Debra Smith, the CEO of Seattle City Lights. Both Oakland and Seattle require newly constructed buildings to be all electric. In both cases, the policies are forward-looking as they include both residential and commercial buildings. Mayor Schaaf, Debra, welcome to Verge Electrify. This first question is for you, Mayor Schaaf. What role are cities playing in the move toward all-electric buildings?
Cities are America's laboratories for innovation, and Oakland is fully embracing an all-electric future. And we're well on our way to creating a cleaner and greener city, free from fossil fuels. An all-electric future also creates good local jobs. It lowers energy and health costs and builds resilience into our building and our transportation systems. And our commitment to environmental justice demands that we provide our frontline communities with clean air, affordable and stable housing, and reliable transportation options. So electrification helps with all three of these priorities while tackling climate change at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mayor Schaaf. This next question is for you, Debra. What does it look like to implement all-electric building policies?
Yes, thank you. And what it looks like to me, it looks like exciting. I agree with Mayor Schaaf in that local communities and cities, we are the place where we can best make change happen, and we can make it happen quickly. The flexibility and the agility that we have close to home is super important. So for us, that has really meant a lot of collaboration. So we have really been focusing in the city of Seattle as a place to find partnerships, collaborations, and to work with both our public sector as well as our private sector partners in the city, in the commercial and residential space. We held tons of outreach meetings, talked with people, tested the notion, changed it, listened to what we heard. We attempted to be responsive. We actually delayed our implementation due to COVID concerns and wanting to be less disruptive. And we're now in an amazing place. We're moving forward, talking with folks around what this will mean. And as the city's municipal utility, we've had the opportunity to really work with our customers and our community members to see how we can help them with this change and to really make it as affordable and accessible for people as possible.
Thank you, Debra. So this next question is for both of y'all. So both Seattle and Oakland's policies have restrictions in the commercial sector as well as the residential sector. So how are your cities working with the business community to carry them along through this process? And Mayor Schaaf, I'll turn it over to you to start.
Great. We started by trying to incentivize the switch over from gas to electric before we made it mandatory. And it's true, people were freaked out a little bit at first when we said, please pass on the gas. And especially chefs, restaurants, like our tourism industry. And what I have loved is engaging some celebrity chefs, some YouTube influencers to do cooking demonstrations. And there's like an awesome one from a super popular restaurant called Reams. And you can see the chef have a little bit of trepidation, like, is this really going to char my pepper the way that an open flame would? And then you can see she's pleasantly surprised. It actually chars it just fine. Her ability to control the temperature in real time. And the real test was when she put her pocket bread on her griddle, and it puffed up perfectly with the perfect golden crispness. And then she looked down and her little son was there. And she said, and wow, this is so much safer for my child that there's not an open flame in the kitchen. I know a lot of cities are looking to lend induction cooktops so people can start trying this out, get used to the magic of induction cooking. So this is just one fun way that we are really getting people excited and bringing them along. The other thing I cannot stress enough, because this came as a big surprise to me, and we need to spread this word. Having gas cooking in your home is bad for your family's health. The increased risk of asthma infections and hospitalizations is huge. And so this is really a way to say, I love you to your family, to keep everyone safe by not only saving the planet, but reducing the pollutive gases from the gas cooking in actual homes. So win-win.
Wow, that's awesome. It makes me ready for lunch. I don't know about the rest of you, but that sounds delicious. So unfortunately, in Washington State, we don't have the ability to provide incentives for fuel switching. It's a constitutional thing and it gets in our way. We can do so now, thankfully, for transportation electrification. But on the business side and on the building side, we really are in a place of having conversations, again, partnering, collaborating, and reaching out to say, how can we help and how can we make this transition work for you? We are hopeful that over the next couple of years, we may in fact gain that authority out of Olympia. But for right now, we're relying on other means. We don't have customer shareholders. We are a municipal utility, so we really do take all of our signals from our customers. We work with them to understand what they want. The city listens to them in the same way. So it's fairly transparent from the city level to the utility, which is super helpful and I think really benefits our customer owners. We've been working a lot with the public sector partners. Seattle is a commuter city, but it is a public transportation city. So we are really focused and see big opportunities with respect to the ferry system, metro. We are working with we're working with our utility partners in the area so that we can plan mindfully together as the Puget Sound area in whole for decarbonization over time. And we're working and building key partnerships with folks that will in turn help us sell the benefit of what we're doing. So for instance, the University of Washington, which is our largest customer, and they have a very, very strong environmental ethic. And even we are going to be home for one of the NHL's newest teams, the Kraken here in Seattle. And so we've had the opportunity to work closely with the folks building that arena, climate change arena. And so every time someone walks into that facility to watch a game, to participate in a concert or another community event, they will be reinforced the value of a carbon-free future for our community and for our families and for our kids and grandkids will be reinforced just by the nature of where they are and by our role in helping to create that. We also meet really regularly with the business community, especially the commercial real estate group. Right now, Seattle is a community that has really, we're seeing a lot of vacancies right now downtown. We are seeing high demand for space. So we're hopeful that over the next few months, we're going to see a bounce back of I'd like to see more lights on outside at night. I live downtown Seattle, and I'll know that economic recovery is clearly underway when I find that I have to close my blinds again to go to sleep at night. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you both. So this question is for both of y'all as well. So one challenge in the transition to all electric buildings is ensuring the benefits are accessible to all communities. So how do these policies support low-income communities and communities of color? And how are you ensuring that these communities aren't left behind? Debra, I'll turn it over to you to start this time.
Just when we thought we had the cadence down. Yes, I think that's probably the most important thing here. And we are really taking that responsibility seriously. I'm sure like most cities, and I'm sure this is true for the mayor as well, when COVID happened, and then when we found ourselves in this period of, some folks use different terms, but we'll just call it a racial awakening. How about that? We knew that we wanted to build Seattle back as a better city. And that really had to do with undoing or reversing the long-term impacts of institutional racism. So as we move forward and we look at how we decarbonize our built environment, as we move towards a truly clean, green environment, we are committed to focusing those investments first in the communities and for the benefit of the people who have traditionally receive those benefits last. So we take environmental justice very seriously in Seattle. We're working with our partners, and we are really committing to that. Having said that, I think it's going to be a challenging conversation for our community as we begin to actually move out there, because that's not the way it's been in the past. And I think it will be fascinating. It is one thing to say what we believe in, and we do believe in it. It is another to experience the inconvenience, I will say, as a person of privilege, that others have experienced their whole lives. And so we expect this to continue to be a challenging conversation for our community, but an absolutely amazing opportunity to put our actions, align our actions with our words, and to truly make a difference in the lives of folks going forward. We're really focused on affordable housing. We're really focused on the role of energy efficiency in managing affordability, because that's huge. And we know that there are costs associated with this conversion. And so we have a responsibility to do everything we can to manage the life cycle cost of revised or updated housing or new housing that's built all electric. We have a clean heat program where we're actively moving folks off of really dangerous heating oil. And those are folks who qualify for that assistance, and we've been able to really go in and help them with that. And then lastly, we're really focused on jobs. One of the things that I think about a lot as I think about the conversion from natural gas to electricity in our region is ensuring that folks who have had good family wage jobs in the natural gas industry, that they receive the training, the retraining, the support they need to continue to support their families in the way they have in the past. So our goal is to make this transition happen in a way that's equitable, affordable, and doesn't leave people or stranded assets behind.
Well, in Oakland, I'd say three things, because everything we do, including with climate change, is equity first. And it is so important to recognize this is not just saving the planet, it's addressing health disparities, racial gaps in wellness. We know that exposure to gas cooktops in our homes raises the chance of developing asthma by 43%. And Johns Hopkins researchers have absolutely documented that the impact of natural gas systems are felt disproportionately on Black and Brown community, especially children. And our policy in Oakland starts with new construction, but we know that this is going to bring the cost down of electrification systems so that we can move to the important retrofit, starting first and foremost in low-income communities. And finally, this policy is a direct result of hearing from the most impacted people themselves. That's where we have to center our work. And we are proud that West Oakland, right next to our big working port, was one of the very first communities to benefit from a new state law that requires community-led climate action plans to address air quality, pollution, and health impacts. And those activists in West Oakland are prioritizing that move from gas to clean electricity. So we are lifting up community voice, and we are trying to close not just our impacts on the climate, but also on health disparities. That is what we're doing in Oakland. It's so awesome to be at Verge today. We're so proud that GreenBiz is an Oakland-based organization. And so let's keep it up, pass on the gas, let's move to clean electric.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much, Mayor Schaaf and Debra Smith, for your leadership and for joining us at Verge Electrify. I think that will do it.
Thanks so much, Matt.